Welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers, and this is Hitman Joe. I'm actually bringing you another episode of Make It Happen. If you look at the thumbnail and the picture that you just saw, this is actually like another concept flyer where the wings looks like they kind of go under the body a little bit. And this is actually made. As you can tell, it is floating off the ground. The wings are slanted a little bit. The connectors here aren't really doing anything. They're just basically for looks. The piping is there for something. It actually does feed the gun in the front, ammunition. So that is good, as you can tell by the green. The red up there on that gun isn't used for anything but just looks. Went in, tried to make this as close to the picture as possible, with the exception of having to change a few things to make it actually work, which is the point of this, I guess, series, is to make something that actually works. This is something that can be made and flown down here on planets and in space. So that's why I went with the hydrogen, with the big tank in the back. That's the only thing I really don't like too much about it, is the back of it is huge. But other than that, everything, shows to be fine. Go ahead and get in it. As you can tell, it does fly. Moves around just fine. And I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to land it real quick. Something I really like about it is when I shut it off, the wings kind of flatten out. Now, obviously, the gun flattens out as well. So I added a piston to it here, so it can be held up. Now, obviously, with that gun being on a rotor, this is something else that I tried to do. Instead of just putting a gun on the flyer, I actually put it on a rotor so that it is controllable. Now, obviously, when flying with something on a rotor and it's just, just free looking like that, it'll move from side to side. So I just added some more pistons on there just to go up beside it to hold it in place, so when you're flying, the gun doesn't move at all. Now, let's go ahead and lower those down and show you, obviously, when you're in the flyer here. Let's go ahead and get in it. You can actually shoot the gun, front gun. The pilot does have control of the front gun. And, oops, go ahead and land this back down. Now, you have to keep it on to be able to control the gun. Now, this vehicle, or this vehicle here, is the one that I'm actually going to use to take control of it. But all you have to do is have a vehicle that has an antenna, and you can control it. So basically, I'm going to hit control here, which brings up the control panel of that ship, or that remote control. Number 9 I've actually got as a camera, so I am now the gun itself. I can move the gun around and shoot. And zoom in, kind of see where I'm shooting at. And then I can go ahead and straighten it back out just to make sure that it is centered. I've got the pistons on number 3, so that I can do this, center it back out, and then there you go. I'm now back out of it. It is controllable again from anybody that is in the base. And while somebody is in here flying. See how it's kind of bouncing like that? That's actually, again, why I put these things on here, so they don't bounce as much. I'm trying to go a little slow here and land this thing. It is kind of back heavy because it does have the hydrogen tank on the back. Once you land, hit P, and you can shut it down. All I did was pretty much the inside, the belly of it actually is what has all the thrusters on it and gyros and everything else. With the rotors, just holding the wings on, so if those rotors are destroyed, you lose your wings. But I mean, in vanilla part of Space Engineers, there's not really any aerodynamic. This right here is the reactor to the gun. Those down there are the reactors to the ship. Gotta have a decent amount because I have a decent amount of thrusters down there. I have, it looks like it's a two-stage rotor down here. One down here that actually goes left to right. There it goes up and down, just to help control. I do have the antenna there and camera, and what's hiding behind that is actually the remote control behind that camera. Now the reason why it's red is because nobody's taken control of it yet. Now, something else I'm going to go ahead and add to this is something that I had actually wanted to build that I was talking about in a previous video. It's kind of going off of this flyer here. This flyer is just basically a universal system that can fly in the atmosphere and fly into space, but it's got a connector to connect to all the different tools. Now, in the ship over here, go ahead and go up to the top. I actually expounded upon that. Right here's a rover. This rover is just about as basic as you can get. It's just a battery operated rover with a connector on the front. And right now it's connected so that it is charging. And it's just to help keep it fully charged. Now that I've got it completely pulled apart, I've got the speed set up to where it does not go very fast because it is inside a ship. And these here are actually the 3 universal items. It's kind of dark in this corner, so let me turn the light on. You got the grinder, the drill, and the welder. Now, I mean, it is kind of weighted a little bit so that they can kind of turn. It is kind of hard to get them to attach sometimes without like jumping, but let's go ahead and line it up. And there you go. Now all I've got to do, you notice I just have the connector down here on the bottom. All I have to do is just go to all blocks, or sorry, weapons, put down a drill, put it down there. Then I can select it and use it. Now once I'm set to here, I can drop it down and line myself up to another one. That one lined up a lot better. Again, I'll just open up the dill, pull up the grinder, pull it down. Now I can select it with using number 3. And now I can grind. And I'll put that back. Drop it. Then I'll line up for the other one. This is just like a little idea. Obviously, we're inside of a ship. This is almost like the workers' bay. whatever needs to be done, I've got a ship to be able to do it. And now I've got the welder here. So I'll select it using number 3 because actually I just moved it. Obviously there's nothing to weld. Because there's nothing really broken here. Once I'm done, all I got to do is turn it around, line it up to the charging dock, connect it, and it's done. It's now back in charging, so that next time I need to use it, the battery should be fully charged. Anyways, looks like that's going to be it for this episode. This is, again, let's go ahead and kick those wings up here. There we go. It's just a flyer that's in the picture. Just a little concept design that I wanted to see about making in Space Engineers. Trying to get it to work and work in the game. Obviously making it look like the picture is the priority, and getting it to work in the game, that's where things are going to have to change a few here and there. But again, flyer with movable wings, gun that is remote control from any position. It is hydrogen, so they can fly in the atmosphere and in space. The back wings don't move, they're just stationary. Gun in the front, be controlled by the pilot, and the top gun up there is controlled by whoever is controlling that gun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this project. I've got some more coming in to you. If you notice that little platform right over there, that's something else I'm working on. I've kind of came up with an issue on the ship here. If I want to get something on the top of the ship, obviously I can have flyers up there. But when it's for a rover, well, I can't. So I got to find a way to get something up there. Anyways, I've also got, see that little thing going up right there? That's actually something else that I'm working on. There's just a few projects I'm working on that'll come in a few more episodes. If you guys like the this video, this content, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments, complaints, or even if you have any suggestions of another project you want me to do, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know. And until the next video, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.